Flash has guarded, he'd be able to get through there, and those Goliaths would help him out with those raids. But right now, he's just on the defense while he tries and picks off those raids. He looks like he's in pretty good shape. He's got some Goliaths back at his base now. He could just position a couple Goliaths at each of his harvester lines and then pick off the rest of those raids. Those raids are not going to want to go against 1 or 2 Goliaths by themselves. So we see some more Goliaths in the middle, and again, Nada continuing to crank out of at least 4 factories here. And, you know, his economy was affected a little bit by the harassment of Flash there, but you see that he's got plenty of SCVs still bringing in the cash here. And again, I think in the long run, ooh, wow, it looks like that was perfect timing on the Goliaths by Nada. It looks like in the long run, the Goliaths are going to prevail here as long as Nada can defend his bases in time. So Nada's going to want to, he's definitely going to want to pull back those Goliaths here, and he saves a couple of them. But it looks like Flash is trying to start a push of his own down on the southern edge of the map here. And let's see if there's any scans left. It looks like Nada will have some additional scans if he needs them. He doesn't have any Goliaths over here to handle these raids right now. So Flash is slowly but surely making his way into the western edge of Nada's base here. So Nada throwing up some siege tanks, trying to do some leapfrogging here, but they may not be. Well, he's only got 3. Flash only has 3 tanks out here, so I guess Nada will be able to tear through with a combination of tanks and Goliaths. Not sure if it was worth it. He seemed to have lost quite a few units there versus a couple tanks from Flash. So very balanced game right now. Looks like Nada throwing up an additional command center, 2 additional command centers at the top northeast corner of the map. Looks like Flash is doing the same thing himself, but Nada just has a slight edge on the expansions right now. Now, he did get some of his harvesters taken out, obviously, by those raids previously, but, you know, does have enough money to continue to build these command centers and what I feel like is a superior ground force right now, although his Goliaths just never seem to be in the right place at the right time. So, again, that mobility that I talked about earlier with the Wraith build of Flash. And just having the ability to cloak and jump in and grab a few harvesters here and there makes them a good long-term investment. And he's just continuing to crank those out of his starport. And he's thrown up a couple more factories of his own where he's primarily just cranking tanks. We haven't seen any other metal from him yet. So Flash pretty straightforward with the wraiths and tanks. And I was wondering if he had an armory. He does have an armory. It looks like it's upgrading ground weapons right now. But I don't know if he's spotted these additional expansions of Nada yet. So Nada's kind of got his Goliaths and tanks patrolling here, looking at, you know, to protect his expansion, and Flash just running around the base with his, or running around the map rather, with his raids looking for something to harass. So he's heading up toward the northern edge here. He's going to spot that. No, he stopped moving them. If he does keep moving up, he's going to spot that northern base of Nada there. So again, though, Nada looks like he's in a pretty solid position right now. He's gotten some towers up at his second natural there, and attacking his own bunker. It looks like he needs a little bit more room. Still only got the 4 factories, so he's, you know, he's focusing on his economy right now, and I guess we're going to probably see more factories go up or possibly more starports go up. But let's see if he can keep this base in on the northern edge while Nada's finally spotted it with his wraiths here. And there's going to be plenty of reinforcements, so... Sorry, Flash spotted it with his rays. I told you I was going to get confused. So Flash continuing to run around. He's got quite the stack of rays there, and I really wish Nada had Psystorm right now, because that would be nasty for Flash's Wraith army. But Flash got 3 more expansions of himself for himself up in the northwest corner of the map. So now Flash has taken the economic advantage with this last command center going up here, and Nada falling behind a little bit in unit production here. I suddenly, with this many tanks out on Flash's end, I don't like Nada's blend of ground units so much, and we're going to see a big battle here as a combination of raids and just a massive force of tanks comes in and tries to take out Nada's expansion up here in the north. Nada does have additional tanks down below on defense, and another small ground force here, which I'm kind of surprised he hasn't moved up to help defend yet. Seems like if he flanked, he might be able to diminish this force of Flash as it tries to move in here. But it looks like Flash isn't going too aggressively with this push right now and continuing to build up his own economy. So harvesting looks like about the same out of those two northern expansions, and he hasn't gotten his third northern expansion started yet. But we are going to start seeing a crazy amount of unit production here. You see he's Flash is throwing up 4 more factories for a total of 8, it looks like right now. So he's going to be producing heavy metal in addition to the raids. And it looks like he's going drop ship, so we're going to see a drop potentially on Nada's main here as well. Not a lot of movement happening at the top, but what we are seeing is Flash just kind of trying to impose his will, as they say in UFC, on Nada here. So kind of putting up a brown wall across the map. But what you'll notice is Nada's got his own wall sort of in the southern half of the map, and Flash has his own wall at the northern half. Well, I do like Nada's position here a little bit better because he's defending his own 3 northern bases while putting a little bit of pressure on Nada's. Did I say Nada? I meant Brown, so Flash. Putting a little bit of pressure on Nada's bases here in the upper, and we're going to see him starting to sort of maneuver his way into the fortified bases of Nada. It looks like it's not too many raids there. It looks like Flash is still rocking about 8 raids, although he's completely switched to drop ships now. So it looks like we're going to see a big nasty drop, and I'm curious to see which base Flash is going to use that drop on. I would assume maybe the southern edge of his main, but it may make sense just to go for the northern expansions here. So we'll keep an eye on those drop ships as he starts loading them up with some metal here. So again, not a lot of movement happening in the middle of the base, but we do see a wall of tanks and Goliaths from Nada all the way up now, and no offensive movement from Flash yet in terms of moving his tank walls forward towards Nada's expansions. And I'm trying to find where those drop ships went so we can keep our eye. I hear a lot of scans happening right now, and here they are. Here's the drop ships. He's going south. Now Nada's going to see that because he has a brilliant tower placement there, so he's going to see those 6 drop ships coming in, and you can see the blue force starting to mobilize here, and this may not be that successful of a drop, but that's a lot of stuff he just dropped. Wow. I didn't even know you could fit that much in 6 drop ships. So this is going to be ugly for Nada here because he's going to have a hard time getting up his own ramp. So pretty beneficial for Flash to have those 2 starports, as you can see here. And he's going to lose that whole southern part of his base while he sets up defenses just a little bit to the north to try and stop the bleeding here. But a brilliant play by Flash. Even though Nada got a little bit of a preemptive view on it with that tower, there's so many. I don't even know how he got so many tanks in those drop ships, but he did, and he's taken out 8 buildings so far. So Nada's going to have a second to set up his own tanks here and hopefully stop some of that bleeding, and I'm sure he's going to be staging an offensive of his own. Now he's trying to attack that tank wall we saw a little bit to the north, coming in from 2 angles, but not enough tanks to to really take out these tanks of Flash as quickly as he'd like. So he loses a lot of ground units taking out that wall. He does have quite a few other units here, though, and it's going to be tough for Flash to move any further into Nada's base. So, you know, it is still looking like a pretty balanced game here, and interestingly, we're running out of time, so I don't know. It looks like Nada may be overwhelmed by the tanks in the middle by Flash here. He managed to sneak through his extra ground force, and it looks like we're going to see a GG by Nada here. Just a little bit too overwhelmed by the sheer amount of tanks that Flash had in a couple locations on the map. So, looks like the tank concentration of Flash is what won it for him here. So New school beats old school today. I know it's been a while. I'll try to post some more up for you guys. Feel free to leave comments, subscribe, and tell your friends and hot girlfriends to subscribe as well. Peace out, guys.